All right. So this first section, we're going to go ahead and review GCF factoring. GCF factoring is you're going to take a look at your expression and figure out what the largest term that divides everything will be. In this first example, if we're looking at 12x squared minus 18x, I have to consider both the numbers and the variables. So between 12 and 18, the largest thing that is going to divide both would be 6, so I know that 6 would be the GCF for the numbers portion. Between x squared and x, the largest thing that would divide both is the variable with the smallest exponent. So between x squared and x, that would be x itself. So put together, 12x squared and 18x, their GCF would be 6x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a 6x, open a set of parentheses, and inside the parentheses is going to be 12x squared minus 18x if we had divided out 6x from each term. So if I take 12x squared and I divide out 6x, that gives me 2x. And then if I divide 6x out of 18x, that just gives me 3. And the way to check your work is you can just distribute this back out. So 6x times 2x would give me 12x squared. And then 6x times 3 would give me negative 18x, which does match our original answer, so we know this is correct. So our factored version of 12x squared minus 18x is 6x times 2x minus 3. We're going to take a similar approach for the next problem. So between 7x cubed and 14x squared, the largest number that divides both terms is 7. Between x cubed and x squared, the lower powered exponent is x squared, so I'm just going to write down x squared. And then now between 7x cubed and 14x squared, I'm just going to divide 7x squared out of both terms. So when I divide 7x squared out of 7x cubed, that leaves me with just x. And then when I do the same with 14x squared, that just leaves me with plus 2. And once again, if I distribute this out, 7x squared times 7x, when I distribute those, that gives me 7x cubed. And then when I distribute 7x cubed times 2, that gives me plus 14x squared. So again, that's just a quick way to check your work. Your final expression, 45x minus 30, when you have bigger numbers like this, there's always going to be multiple answers. But remember, when you're looking for the GCF, you're looking for the largest number that divides everything. So between 45 and 30, you might be tempted to say maybe it's 3. 3 is a pretty small number, so we can try something bigger. 5 does divide both. But since 3 and 5 divide both, that means that 3 times 5 has divided, which means 15 divides both of these. So I know that between 45 and 30, 15 would be my GCF. Notice one of these terms has x and the other one does not, so I cannot factor x out of this. So that means my GCF between the two terms is only 15. So now when I factor 15 out of 45x, that gives me 3x. And then when I factor 15 out of 30, that just gives me 2.